Good evening, everyone. My name is David Freese. I'm the mayor of Tonganoxie. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. Give yourself a hand. I don't want to steal Reverend Wilkie's thunder, but I believe that God, the universe, or whatever you believe in, brings us together not to study our pains, but to solve problems. And we're here at a time and a place where we have to solve a problem together. And so I'm so thankful that you came tonight to see this meeting. Thank you. Ms. Huntington, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Wilkie?
Present.
Ms. McCutcheon?
Here.
Ms. Stevens is absent. Ms. Gruby?
Here.
Mr. Dale?
Here.
Would you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our regular meeting dated May 4th, 2026. Are there any questions or concerns about the minutes? If not, I would accept a motion to approve or deny.
I will motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. McCutcheon. Thank you, Mr. Dale. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is the consent agenda, in which we review bill payments from the previous period. Having looked at the bill payments, does anyone have any questions or concerns that they'd like to bring up? If not, I would accept a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dale. Is there a second?
Second.
I heard Mr. Wilkie first. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I was looking at the old charter and how things are supposed to go. I understand there's a petition. If that could be turned over to our city clerk at this time. Thank you. And now is our old business. We talk about, or this is, sorry, this is the part of the meeting where folks can air their grievances or say something gracious to everyone or what have you. But I have a list here somewhere. We're going to start with people who live in the town. And I believe that's Rebecca Davis first.
Hello, I'm not airing the grievances. Yeah, I wanted to come here and kind of thank you guys for working for our city and just to kind of get everyone up to speed because a lot has happened and there's some new faces here. So our group, the Tonganoxie Data Center Watchdog Group, is concerned clearly about the mega data center. You know, and I want to be very clear that the county brought this to your doorsteps, that you guys did not seek a mega data center. And so I want everyone just to be aware of that. And to expand on that idea, what really brought this to your doorstep is the state of Kansas with SB 98. They gave a 20-year tax abatement to data centers. So instead of doing things like funding school lunches with tax money, we're giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to mega corporations, and I'm not okay with that. So we can blame the state of Kansas of why we're doing this. Cloverleaf is the company that wants to do this. They said when they spoke at the county meeting that they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for SB 98. So I wanted, you know, at the end of the day, we're all neighbors. I'm gonna see you guys at the grocery store. My kids went to school with some of your kids, so I wanted to invite you. We're gonna have a meeting on Wednesday, just like a meet and greet casual thing at Irvine's just beyond Paradise Winery from 5 to 7. If you'd like to come, we'd love to see you. If anyone in this room would like to come, we'd love to see you. So that's something that's coming up. There was a Gallup poll that came out a couple days ago. 7 in 10 Americans do not want to live by a data center. So the timing of this, where we're at as a community, is like, I mean, just a lightning bolt in our country right now. So here we are. And then the last thing I want to talk about briefly is just, I know there's a lot of tangible concerns, water, electricity, light, sound, and I know other people are going to hit on those, but I kind of want to talk about something that's not as tangible. Like, what are we doing as a society here with AI? Like, I just think the technology's taking off like wild. I don't think our morals and ethics have really caught up to all this. And I'm just interested in what kind of world are we handing to our grandkids? Because if we put this data center on 1,000 acres, it's forever changing the character of this community. I think it will make it less desirable to live here. I think there's a lot of health risks that haven't really been, you know, maybe even identified yet because it's all so new. And so it's kind of the Wild West. There aren't a lot of regulations. And I appreciate your time, and I know you guys are kind of in what could be a hard spot because there's a lot of eyeballs on you. So thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got real nervous seeing all these people in here because most weeks it's us and
Us.
Anna and George and Lindsay and Dan. So I forgot my disclaimer. It's just a reminder that this is not a conversation, it's not a Q&A, it's not a cross-examination. This is your chance to address the public and council on the record. We have a 3-minute limit, and it's a hard 3-minute limit, though I think maybe Becca may have gotten away with a few extra seconds. So with that, we'll move on to our next speaker. Mr. Brown, you did not want to speak, is that correct? Ward Brown? That is correct. All right, thank you. Next I have Ed Irvine.
Good evening, council.
Could you please state, I forgot to say, could you please state your name and address, please?
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak with you here tonight. I know this is kind of a big decision here on what we do with the data center. And even though I do not live right here in the city, I want to talk real briefly about an issue I think that affects all of us, and that's the water, okay? The water issue affects everybody. I mean, we're sitting right on top of the Tonganoxie Sands aquifer. And according to the the Geological Survey here in Kansas, there's no volumetric figure on how much water is actually in that aquifer. It reaches anywhere from 14 to 20 miles in width, and generally is, according to the Geological Survey, anywhere from 80 to 90 feet in thickness. And the water quality from that is really pretty good. And I know that the city actually obtains some of their water from that aquifer. And I know a lot of the people in the residential areas or in the rural areas of this county, Leavenworth County here underneath this aquifer, also get our water from that same aquifer. And that's kind of a concern for us. And I know a lot of other people in the area, because we don't have access like the city does to water from the Kansas City utilities. We don't have rural water, and there's a lot of other people that don't have rural water in the local area here that are have this aquifer available. So that is one of the big things that I wanted to talk about. But when it comes to water quality, the Tonganoxie Sands is a very good source of water. It's not highly contaminated. Some of the water that is coming from the Kansas City utilities has to be treated much more so than what the water coming out of the Tonganoxie Sands. And so, you know, when it comes to atrazine or something, that's going to be something that has to be filtered out. But, you know, before you consider, you know, moving forward with this data center, please consider that the Tonganoxie Sand, the aquifer that we're sitting on, is a shared resource. And we have a lot of customers at Urban's Just Beyond Paradise Winery that are here in the city, and, there's a lot of other issues besides, the water, but, that is a important issue, and consider, the impact that could have, not only on the people here in the city, but also the people that, call Tonganoxie home that live in the outside area. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Irvine, I would hope that you would get an opportunity to share that with the county commissioners. I think they need to hear that.
I will do that.
Just a suggestion. Next, I have D. Carlescant.
Good evening, and thanks for having us be allowed to talk. Well, I got a lot to say, but 3 minutes isn't going to cover it, so I'm giving you tidbit highlights. So I'm bringing a topic that is very important to the data center situation that no one talks about, and it is probably the most important: tonal noise and infrasound. Tonal noise is less than 50 hertz, characterized by a distinct continuous frequency, such as a whine, hum, or buzz. Infrasound is the lowest level of tonal noise, about 20 hertz and lower. And did you know, humans do not hear tonal noise, they feel it. The US military has used tonal noise as a form of torture. It disrupts circadian rhythm, and the body thinks it's awake 24/7. Neurodivergent children with autism, when wearing headphones, that's what they're blocking. Children who are autistic without headphones could potentially end up with headphones. Cardiac disease, especially pacemakers in the elderly, premature births, vertigo, headache. They know there's increased pockets of cancer near these huge data centers that are cropping up. And with the 24/7 fight or flight feeling, it's going to elevate our cortisol levels, and elevated cortisol damages our bodies on the inside. Animals affected pretty much as humans. Mating is affected, impacts with weight gain. Dairy cattle produce less milk. Important species like bees, they'll die. To measure this sound, you have to use special equipment. It's not just dBA decibels, but it's also dBc and dBz, which most phone apps, when people say they've measured, they don't cover that. Tonal noise will be produced by backup generators, their HVAC system, and the extensive electrical grid that will be needed. Tonal noise goes through walls and cement, so normal barriers that they're suggesting, it will not block it. Distance is unknown because of wind, weather, and terrain, and until it's built, will they really know how far that tonal noise travels. The middle school and elementary, now let's see. The studies on these the data centers, the big one they want to bring here, they're so new they haven't completed the studies yet, but they are starting to observe a lot of commonalities that are happening. The middle school and elementary and nursing home are less than 2 miles. The significant danger zone is within 3 miles, but this tonal noise can travel farther than 10 miles. The proposed data center in 8 years will fit in this podium. And that was stated by Aaron Ballou, who is the project manager for Cloverleaf. So in March, at the March 18th BOCC meeting. These are just the highlights. I do have references of where I got my information from, like the WHO, Savanti, TechTarget.com, Industrial Environmental Noise and Vibration, personal discussions with Tammy Clark and Kristen Megan Kelly, who are industrial hygienists, and they do the testing on big industry or big projects like this. And Prescott Bulch, who you can find on YouTube, will speak to the financial piece of why this is not good for Tonganoxie. And we personally spoke to him. And the only positive I hear is the money, but is the money worth the damage it's going to cause? So I hope you take our petition seriously, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. I hope that's a concern that you also take to the county commission. I think that, all right, very good. I think Commissioner Steben is here somewhere. area back in the back. So just give him a chance. So you could maybe talk to him. He's on the list to speak here in a little bit. Hold on a second. Hold on, Mr. Stephen. Next up is Mr. Carlos Kent. Sorry.
I thought you were calling me up.
Nope, I wasn't. I was just pointing you out. I did, Mr. Carlos Kent.
Good evening, council members. Tonight I have presented a petition from residents who are asking for one simple, reasonable act, an 18-month moratorium on the approval of a large-scale data center here in our community. It is a request for time to study the full impacts, time to protect taxpayers, time to protect our water, power grid, roads, emergency services, and quality of life before decisions are made that can't be reversed. Across the country and here in Kansas, communities are discovering that hyperscale data centers bring consequences far greater than first advertised. As you know, the Leavenworth County Board of Commissioners, county commissioners placed a 90-day moratorium on the project. This is a good start, but it's not near enough time. At this time, there are 22 current members of the Kansas legislature that are calling for a statewide moratorium on hyperscale data centers. I find it ironic that 15 of these voted for Senate Bill 98 that Rebecca talked about earlier, which is the multi-billion-dollar giveaway of tax dollars to billionaires. Many of the concerns expressed are massive electricity demands, heavy water consumption, excessive infrastructure upgrades, tax incentives that can shift burdens onto residents. Once these projects are approved, local governments lose leverage. Citizens are often told later that the arrangements have been made and it's too late. This is exactly why an 18-month moratorium is necessary. A moratorium is not a ban, it is a pause that allows the county to complete independent studies, review zoning regulations, and evaluate environmental impacts. During this period, the county can create clear standards on water usage and protection, noise levels, energy demands, backup generators emissions, road and infrastructure costs, property values impact, and financial guarantees. You know, the petition that I had presented earlier to the city clerk had names of approximately 400 people. We collected those in 4 days. And very few people said, no, we don't want a data center. Some said they didn't know much about it, but only one person said was opposed to it, and he said it'll bring jobs, which it won't. But keep in mind that we are a community. Many of the people that collected the signatures, and yes, I live outside the city limits, but I feel like I'm a part of the Tonganoxie community. You know, what we found out, and my wife mentioned it, we went to Wichita last week and heard from industrial hygienists, and it scared the devil out of me from what we found out. And it's very concerning because we live within 2 miles of the projected site. So Tonganoxie residents, the rural folks out there, my neighbors, we are concerned. There's the bell. But let me close by saying, we found out last week that we don't know what we don't know, but we are finding out we need to ask things, and we're beginning to find the people that can give those answers. I hope that you know, you will be able to seriously consider the petition that was presented this evening. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Stephen, it's your moment. I'll let you know when we get up here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to just come and say just a couple words because the county did adopt a moratorium, and our moratorium is for 90 days. Your proposal is a little different than that, but I wanted to give you a couple issues that I'm concerned about. But the number one issue is we moved, our family came to Tonganoxie in 1999. We were looking for a house. Margie Hempel gave us the Harbor House right behind the Methodist Church, and that's the first place we lived in Tonganoxie. And we considered Tonganoxie like Mayberry. Our kids have all gone to school there. I'm proud to say all my kids have graduated or are doing things and are past their 20s now. But the number one thing is that I believe from this, and I did not want the data center issue. Yeah, I did not. This just came to us just this recently. We did not seek this issue. This issue sought us. But I'll tell you this. I believe when my first grandson, and his name is Michael, was born a few weeks ago, we went and visited the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and at that Cowboy Hall of Fame, one of the codes on the wall said, Cowboy Code is, some things are not for sale. And that would be my number one message. And then I think Tonganoxie is a special place. Tonganoxie has a special character, a special culture. I've been proud to represent it for 7 years on the county commission. And I love the people here, and I don't want it to be transformed into something new and different that will change it forever into something it will never be able to be again. So I want to just quote Aaron Ballou from Cloverleaf. He said that without Senate Bill 98, which our legislators adopted last year, they would not even consider coming to Kansas because they have to have the incentives. In effect, it's a subsidy. The state government is subsidizing these folks to come. They wouldn't come otherwise. They said it in the work session that we had. And the second thing I would like to leave with you is Paul Hughes, the mega project director from the Department of Commerce. He said, if the local community does not want it, we do not push it on them. It is the decision of the local community. My letters, phone calls, survey, and emails are running way overwhelmingly in opposition to this. And I ask you, please, please, please help us on your end to have these folks go somewhere where they want the data centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. I also would encourage you to bring that up with the county commission. All right, normally that's the end, when we hit the end of the list, we hit the end of the list. So we've hit the end of the list. Does anyone else want to speak? I'm not seeing anybody. I do have a couple questions if you'll entertain them. How many of you live here in town? And how many of you live out in the county? Well, thank you all for attending tonight. I cannot thank you enough. Keep up the good work, keep up speaking, and we'll see. And I got to introduce myself to several of you, but please stop me after the meeting if you want to stick around. If not, we'll give about 2 minutes here where you can hit the road and we can get on with our other business. It's up to you. Yes, ma'am? I got a question. Okay.
So how much pull does the city have, the city council have in regards to what the county wants to do?
0.
And why is that?
It's outside the city limits.
But don't they want the city to annex that in?
They may. We had to fight them in court a couple years ago to get an satellite annexation, and they didn't want one then, and I don't know the reason for that, but I don't know. That's the best I can give you. It's just not our project, not our monkey, not our circus. But we're glad to hear all of your concerns. Sir, one last one.
What's the capacity of the water plant out here per day, do you know, or per month?
Mr. Brockovich, would you mind answering that question?
Sure, I just want to make sure I heard it because of the post, but water capacity?
Per day.
Sure, so without like jeopardizing a lot of details in a big public meeting about the water in the city, I will say that the city has 2 wells. As of this year, they're both over 100 years old. In the late 90s, early 2000s, the city did some exploratory drilling to see if we could generate more water in other locations. It wasn't possible. So they looked at potentially buying water from kind of a company that could service it. And at the time, it was Suburban Water. The markup was ridiculously high that the city actually did a capital project where they built a transmission line and purchased water, bulk water purchases from a utility in Kansas City. Today, we buy the majority of our water that way. The growth of our total capacity available, we're using just under 30%. If by the specs that we've seen for a project like this, we think that if it came on tomorrow, it'd move us to just over 30%. So it's not a significant impact on our water. Sorry, and I'm looking at this guy. He's probably not the guy that asked the question, so sorry, whoever asked it. But that's the nature of the city's water supply.
Thank you,
it's
Mr.
adequate.
Brockovich. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to move on to other business. Okay, last one.
Water plant monitored by thermometers or any other method?
That's probably a question for the county commission, more so than us. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. What was your question again?
The level of the aquifer is measurable?
Oh, do you know that, Mr. Brockovich?
I don't believe that the city measures the level in the aquifer. I mean, we monitor our wells and our other water purchases.
Okay, we'll move on now, if that's okay. Thank you very much for being here, I appreciate it. And you're free to go if you'd like. Free to stay.
Mayor, do you want to just take a 2-minute break and
Yeah.
then restart the meeting at
call this meeting back into order, please?
Dang, you got a love note.
Okay, so I've got, I may have an old budget. Mr. Porter? No, sorry.
Mayor, I think we're ready to restart whenever you are.
I was waiting for Mr. Porter. That's good. Customer service. Okay, so I believe I may have an old agenda. I have, under old business, A, discuss potential summer 2026 liquor sales adjustment. Is
That's
that-
correct,
that's
Mayor.
correct.
So
Okay.
we've got a very brief presentation of results. In short, we got very few results from outreach to companies and business owners. So this is in regards to, again, the expansion of the state allowing up to 23 hours a day of liquor sales in retail sales. And we did survey our local liquor store establishments, C-stores, and also our restaurants and bar establishments, license holders as well. We received very limited feedback, but there's a golden quote that I have to cite perfectly. The juice isn't worth the squeeze was one piece of feedback. Yeah, so that was a good one. There's a few other store owners. The ones we spoke to on the phone, employees or store owners reported the likelihood that they would have employees willing to work those expanded hours or financial interest in doing so will be very minimal to none. One restaurant did indicate they may try to stay open, but they currently close at 9 p.m. and they're allowed to stay open until 2 a.m., so they have plenty of leeway there. So we don't have a scientific, survey or a presentation of those results, but just wanted to generally convey that feedback. I believe at the last meeting, you all were thinking about maybe adding an hour to the end or the beginning of the current permitted hour window, but that's, in short, what we've heard so far.
I'm glad that we did that research. It's good. Does anyone have anything else to add, ask? Okay, we'll move on to new business ordinance number 1550, is that correct? Approval of allowing the consumption of alcohol on certain public property for limited time and purpose pursuant to KSA 41719D, 11, and E for the Tonganoxie Days 2026 special public event. And it says item continued to next regular meeting.
Yes, and that's my update, Mayor, that's all right. The only thing I would add is there are 2 alcohol vendors arranged with the organizers of the event, County Road Brewing and Alberto Yaluk with 1866. Both are aware of our efforts to have this item prepared. We should have the draft ordinance available on June 1st. That's in plenty of time for the June 13th event. Again, what you'll be asked to do at that time is to allow consumption of alcohol and sale of alcohol to occur within those event perimeter boundaries during that period of time on streets, sidewalks, and other public property that normally would not permit that. So we'll have a map and more information and an ordinance on June 1st, and it just wasn't ready in time for the packet tonight.
Okay. Moves on to item 6, city manager agenda. Mr. Brajkovic, do you have anything?
Yes, Mayor. We have one item, but I would make a request with the storms that are heading in an attempt to get staff home quickly. We would be happy to bump this item to next month. I don't believe in looking through the report that there's anything that's out of the ordinary, or if Mr. Porter thinks he could do it in 2 or 3 minutes, we'd be happy to go through it. But if you all would entertain the thought of just bumping it, I'm good with that too.
We will bump it.
Thank you.
Item 7, city attorney agenda. Ms. Kirstelich? No items, Mayor. Thank you. Item 8, mayor pro tem agenda. She's not here tonight. Item 9, city council agenda. Does anyone have anything to add?
Nope.
Seeing none. Mayor agenda, I have nothing And that leaves us with Jake.
I make a motion that the Tonganoxie split works this evening and everyone stays weather aware. And that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you both. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. See you in 3 weeks.